Means that's time for another live Q&A all about eBay dropshipping. And today we're going to start out with some pretty serious eBay drama. So I'm just going to go over something that was just released in a press release from the Department of Justice. Some kind of shady and quite strange stuff that happened over at eBay last year that is just now coming to light because the press release has just come out. So this is what happened. Last year, there were 6 now former eBay employees, and I'm not talking about like low-level employees. I'm talking about like upper management employees who engage in what's called aggressive cyber stalking. And they specifically targeted a couple in the Boston region that run an online blog all about e-commerce websites like eBay. So these eBay executives, and this included executives such as the one that was in charge of the Senior Director of Safety and Security, the Director of Global Resiliency, the Senior Manager of Global Intelligence, as well as several others. They, as a group, had been following this online blog and kind of were pretty resentful of this blog because occasionally they would post negative things about eBay, and a lot of the comments in the comments section were negative as well. And finally, this blog posted an article about a lawsuit against eBay. And for these 6 executives, that was the last straw for them. And they sent out a series of text messages to each other, basically saying, let's take her down. So they engage in a 3-part cyber stalking campaign, basically, to destroy her. So the way this started out was pretty gruesome and pretty disgusting. So what they did was they actually sent packages to her house, and those packages included things like a bloody pig Halloween mask, a funeral wreath, a book on surviving the loss of a spouse, and a preserved fetal pig. Now, what they also did was they sent some pornography, but that one they actually sent to the neighbor's house, but with the editor's name on it, so it looked like it was accidentally delivered to the wrong address, so that that would embarrass her in front of her neighbors. So that was part 1 of the campaign. The second thing that they tried to do was they actually created private Twitter accounts and sent her private tweets as well as public tweets as well, basically threatening her and saying that they were going to expose her home address. Now, this all sounds pretty nuts, pretty crazy, but they actually did have somewhat of a plan here, believe it or not. Their plan was that they wanted to then reach out to her and say that, hey, we have an idea who's doing this, and we want to help you get out of this situation. We want to help you in this situation, so that then they would have a good relationship with her, so that she would stop posting bad things about them. So this is kind of the craziness that was going through their mind. They were trying to stalk her and make her feel really uncomfortable, and then they were going to try to come in and act like they were saving the day. So then it got even more crazy, because what they actually did was they flew to her hometown under the guise of attending a software development conference that was in the Boston area. And they actually went to her town, they went to her house with the intent of breaking into her garage and putting a GPS device on her car in order to stalk her. Now, at that point, they actually got caught, and they were able to, by the homeowners, by the editor, and that's when the police department started to investigate this. Now, throughout the entire process, once they were kind of caught, red-handed basically, they lied to everyone. They lied to the police, they lied to the editors, they lied to eBay, they lied to eBay's lawyers. Every step of the way, they lied. But now that this has all come out, it's pretty obvious what has happened, and immediately, once eBay found out about this, they terminated those employees. They weren't allowed to talk about it at the time, which was around August of 2019. But now they are able to talk about it. They weren't able to talk about it because it was an ongoing case. So now they are able to talk about it. They've apologized for it. They said they don't condone this type of behavior. They're sorry for anyone who's affected by it. Now, the most interesting thing about this for me, of course, all that was interesting in a really sick, twisted way. But the interesting thing was that last year, we suddenly saw the departure of eBay's CEO, Devin Wenig. And at that time, everyone was kind of speculating why it is he just quickly exited. It just kind of was unexpected. Now, in the announcement from eBay, they said that the internal investigation that eBay conducted found that the former CEO had communications with these 6 executives that engaged in this, and that those communications were inappropriate. But there was no evidence that he knew in advance that these actions were taking place by them. So a lot that's not being said there, a lot that we can read between the lines. I don't know if we'll ever really know, but that's kind of the latest gossip, the latest drama coming out of eBay. So definitely a pretty alarming situation. Luckily, the right thing was done. This particular blog is one that I follow. I go on their website almost every single day to check in on what's happening in the e-commerce world. And it's pretty shocking that this happened to her. And it's really quite sad because she seems like a really wonderful person doing a great thing for our community by giving out this news, and then to be attacked like that in such a vicious way. It's kind of really sad because it says something a lot about eBay. I know eBay is trying to distance themselves from this and say that this isn't representative of eBay at all, but there were six executives there doing that. And it kind of shows that they feel like one online blog does that much damage to them. It's just kind of sad that they feel that way. They should really be focusing their attention, of course, on outreach and helping the situation by helping the sellers who feel frustrated, so they're posting these things. All right, so that's the latest gossip, the latest news. Of course, the rest of this time will be a live Q&A. Any questions you all have about eBay dropshipping, I'm here to answer those for you, whether you're here in the live chat, if you're not here. Ask your question in the comments section of any of my videos, and I will take a screenshot of them and post them up on the screen just like this to answer during my next live Q&A. Real quick, wanted to give a shout out to some of my students who are crushing it this week. We have Emmanuel here who's doing really well at the store. I blacked out his question because there's some personal stuff in there, but his question was basically, what should he do now? Because he's maxed out his listings. He's doing really, really well. And in that situation, what you want to do, Emmanuel, is you're doing it right. So you've maxed out your listings and you're maxed out your sales. You're almost maxed out your sales. So what you can do at this point is go through your listings, Emmanuel, and you want to see what listings aren't selling well. If those listings haven't sold, you can delete those, and that will then allow you to list more items or sell more items that you know have been selling well. So when you're kind of at that limit, that's what you should be doing. Now, obviously, once it's time for you to get a limit increase, ask for one, show eBay your results, and they should be doubling your limit. And that will obviously give you a lot more room to grow. And if you do everything right, they should be doubling you every single month. But congrats, man, doing excellent so far. Just keep it up. Another student, shout out to Tim here. $14,000, almost $15,000 in sales. So congrats, Tim. Another one of my students, Deanna here, day 52. So I love that she's keeping track every single day that she's in the program. Just crossed $11,000 in sales. It's working. Keep going. Super grateful. So I'm grateful for you. Congratulations on your success. All right, so let's see who's here in the chat. We have Dropship Tyler saying we love drama. Yes, we all know Dropship Tyler loves his drama. Zach, we love drama too. Juan is here. What's up, man? Hope it ain't that bad. Yeah, so this was, drama that really isn't going to be impacting us as sellers. So I wouldn't be worried about that. This is just something internal that happened. And, I always like to say, stay on top of what's happening over at eBay. So because anything could impact us as sellers. It doesn't look like this will, unless there's some big judgment against them that they then have to pass those costs along to us sellers. But besides that, I don't really see this impacting us. Is the news bad? Nope, this isn't something that's I think is actually going to affect the company. Like we said, it happened in August of 2019. So that was a little bit of a while ago, and it hasn't had an impact on eBay overall at all. Okay. Can you go over why PayPal keeps limiting my account? Unfortunately, without more information, I don't know why that's happening for you. There's different reasons PayPal might do that. They do limit new accounts. Once you're not a new account, that stops happening. But they also might, from time to time, just check in. So if you try to transfer money out of your account, sometimes you'll get a message saying, like I got one this morning, even though I've been selling with PayPal for years. And it just said, we're going to look into this transfer, make sure there's no issues with it. And then if there's no issues, the money will transfer into your bank account. It's just a security check they do from time to time. There's other things that they do where if they see a sudden increase in sales, they might start to hold your money. And that's just something that they do, again, as a precaution. But then that release comes off after a time. Crazy, says Angie. Yeah, definitely I had to share this one because you hear weird stuff happening on eBay and Amazon sometimes. This is one of the weirder things and craziest and just absurd and disgusting things that we've seen. How can I add another supplier to AutoDS? So if you're using AutoDS, there are certain suppliers it works with. Now, if you want to use a supplier that's not there, then you have to request that from them. They do take suggestions, so to speak. So you have to reach out to them and tell them if they hear enough that a lot of people want to work with a certain supplier, they will add that supplier. They're a little bit different than a lot of other companies. They're not just adding as many suppliers as they can. They actually add suppliers that people want to work with, and they don't try to get too big with them so that they can stay on top of each of their suppliers to make sure that it integrates with their software really, really well. Hey, what's up, Rich? Thanks for being here. Hey, Miami, what's up? Hope you're being safe down there. eBay is run by a bunch of adolescents. Talk about employment suicide. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense why they did this. They just kind of went off the rails here. This is crazy. When does the book come out? When is the movie coming out? Yeah, I think it would make a good movie. I am going to sue eBay. Dropship Tyler says. So this is what eBay does with their free time. I'm loving these comments, guys. These are great comments. Get her on the show. What was the blog? So yeah, maybe I'll ask her. It didn't state the blog. I kind of just figured it out. So maybe I'll reach out to her and see if she would want to do that. I don't know if she would. Really has nothing to do with dropshipping either. Okay. This guy, Jack Pittman are a legend. Jack Pittman is definitely a legend. A legend in the sense that, like someone going like way back. Okay. All right, let's jump to one of these questions I had saved up from the week. So one of my students asked this inside a private Facebook group. Wants to know, at the end of the year tax filings, do we get some sort of form for filing our taxes from eBay or PayPal? Yeah, we do. So PayPal will send you a 1099. That's basically the form you get from someone if you're an independent contractor. And so that form gives you all of the information that you then need to file your taxes or to give to your CPA to file your taxes. The assumption, and I think it's a pretty solid assumption, is that once we switch over to managed payments, eBay will be sending us a 1099, so that will replace the one from PayPal. Okay. How can we know that the order is delivered to the customer in eBay? So when you order the item from your supplier, they will email you a tracking label. a tracking number. You can then upload that tracking number to eBay, and that's all you have to do. Assuming that there's no issues with the delivery or there's no late delivery, but assuming that that doesn't happen, which in most cases it doesn't, then that's all you have to do. Okay. Another question from this week. Okay, so Raja says, in the beginning, what would you say one should limit the listings to go smooth without eBay noticing? Okay, so I think the question really is premised on the idea that you shouldn't scale too quickly with your eBay store. So Raja wants to know, well, what's too quickly? How much should I scale? How much should I list? Now, the good thing is that most people don't need to worry about that question because eBay puts a limit on how many items you can list and sell per month. And I made a really good video about this, I think like a couple weeks ago. So try to check out that video if you have questions on exactly how that works. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you're not going to be able to scale up that quickly as a new seller because you have those limits on your account. Now, if you have an older account that maybe has higher limits, then you could scale up quicker. Now, the thing to consider with that is that you have an older account, and usually older accounts will be fine to scale up a little bit quicker, but it's always a good idea not to move too quickly. But for most of you guys, that's not going to be an issue. All right, Shulam says, I made a posting on online jobs for a position. I got tons of applicants. What's the best indicator for a good applicant? Also, how much do you pay your virtual assistants? So this is all stuff I cover in my course, Super Simple VAs, Super Simple Virtual Assistants, that helps people hire and train virtual assistants to run their eBay store. But basically what you're looking for are candidates that, first of all, answer your questions. So you'll get tons of applicants that just give you a stock response without answering your questions directly. And those people, for me, immediately get deleted. I don't want people giving me cookie cutter responses. I want people who have looked at my job posting, understand what the position is, and respond accordingly to exactly what I'm asking for. So that's the first thing that I look for. The second thing is, do they actually have the experience? Or did they actually address my questions and concerns? A lot of times you'll see like, oh yes, I would be good at this, even though I've never done it before. Those people get deleted. Now, just the truth of it, because there are so many virtual assistants out there who have done this before. So many virtual assistants who have listed items, who have fulfilled orders, who have done customer service. You don't need to do that much training for them. They already know how to do it. You just have to find the ones who know how to do it, hire them, and just give them like a little bit of extra training so that they know how to do it your way, and then you can hire them. So I hope that helps you at least start to narrow it down, and then you can start to interview them to really lock in a candidate that would be perfect for you. Well, congratulations, Alan. Made my first sale drop shipping from Walmart to eBay. Congrats. Okay. Let's see. Can AutoDS work from mobile? Yes, I don't do it. I prefer to do all my work on my computer. But yeah, you can do it from mobile. Yeah, so Courtney Cross says, I listed an item from Home Depot. It's $240, but I didn't realize there was a $55 shipping charge until I sold one of the items. Should I have noticed this charge before listing it? I lost money on the sale. Yeah, Courtney, you should have. So if you're using a software like AutoDS, which is what I use to list my items, and it also reprices them in case the price changes on Home Depot, it will automatically change that price on eBay for me. But if you use that software, you'll set it up before you list any items to automatically pull in the shipping charge. And if you did that, then this wouldn't have happened because it would have seen that shipping charge and would have added it to the listing. Now, if you're not using a software, you just want to check their website. Home Depot will tell you if the item has free shipping or it will say free shipping on orders over $45. If it doesn't say that, then you're not going to get free shipping. It might say standard shipping. That will cost you money. Then you got to click and actually see how much it will be. So those are things you got to look out for. These are, again, all things I cover in my eBay Dropshipping Titans course. You can actually see as I click on things to show you where to find all that. If you are a member of my course, check out those videos so that this doesn't happen again for you. Hey, Orlando, Florida, says the vegan queen. Thanks for coming back. Awesome. Arthur says, just hit 30K a month with your course. Thank you. No, thank you, Arthur, for sharing. Always appreciate that sort of feedback. Wayne says, sales doing so well in lockdown. I'm feeling guilty and want it to last. LOL. Yeah, this is like a good moral question to ask, because I've been thinking this myself too. Things are going really well with sales online. And the question is, and we know why it is, people are in lockdown, they are stuck at home, so they're ordering more online. Should you feel guilty about that? Well, a couple things to keep in mind, Wayne, and maybe this is more of a rhetorical question or maybe more of a joke, but it's something I've thought about, so I kind of want to share my thoughts on it. The one thing I think of this as, if I'm excited that I'm doing so well online with my online sales, that's not actually going to change whether it lasts or not, right? So you can't feel guilty if you're feeling good about it, because that's not going to impact whether the lockdown continues, whether the virus continues to spread or anything like that. Also keep in mind that many states are now out of lockdown, right? Many people are out there, they're going to stores. I see people out there a lot, and yet the sales are continuing to do really well, which kind of makes me believe that this whole lockdown is actually it's created a shift in people's perspective, where yes, even though they can go out there and purchase items in stores, people have now gained the experience and have now practiced with shopping online, and they see the benefits of it. They are enjoying it because it's so convenient and easy. So I think we're going to continue to see that this has brought momentum to the e-commerce world, that it has had more people shifting to purchasing online, even as lockdowns continue to be lifted and more people are able to go into stores. Jeff says, made alive, how are the travels? We're doing great. Currently in Idaho at the moment. Can anyone tell me what's going on right now? If you missed the news, just rewind to the beginning of the video and watch the first 7 or 8 minutes. I go over what all that news is about. Yes. Do I do one-on-one consulting? I need help on a particular topic with my eBay store. I bought your course back in 2018. Yeah, I do have a one-on-one coaching program. It's called the Dropshipping Titans Accelerator Program. If you want more information about that, what you should do is underneath this video will be a link to my eBay course. Just click on that, and then at the top, click on coaching. Or you could just go to dropshippingtitans.com, and at the top, click on coaching, and that will give you all of the information about it if you are looking for that one-on-one help. Okay. Bless. Who just sneezed? That was Chad. What is my favorite supplier of all time? For me, it's Home Depot. I love Home Depot. When does PayPal stop holding funds? So for every account, it's different, but this happens to all new accounts, at least until we move over to managed payments, and then eBay will start doing this instead of PayPal. But it's supposed to only last 3 months or 90 days, but you can get out of this PayPal jail faster if you sell enough products. So as long as you're selling products, there's a good chance you might get out of PayPal jail earlier. Whoa, look at that. Nice avatar there. good suggestion from Shulam here. Smash that like button. Yeah, I would really appreciate that, guys. And smash the like button for this guy. He really wants you to smash that like button. I always do a business account on eBay. Okay, let's go to another question from this week. How do you ship to Puerto Rico? Oh, I'm glad I had this question from David because I know a few of you asked this in the live chat as well. So I don't ship to Puerto Rico. We don't ship there. Now, Puerto Rico is part of the United States, but a lot of suppliers won't ship there, just like they won't ship to Hawaii or Alaska. So what do? Well, what you do is you exclude them from your listings. Say you don't ship to those areas. Again, if you're a student in my course, I go over how to do this in your shipping business policies. But that's something you want set up so that you don't accidentally get an order from Puerto Rico, and then you're in the sticky situation where you have to cancel it or ask them to cancel it. So it's just better you set up your shipping policies from the start so that you're excluding Puerto Rico, Hawaii, Alaska, and all those other places. Jason wants to know how I handle shipping items overseas. We just use the global shipping program. Oops. They make it very easy. You don't have to worry about things like exporting, port charges, and things of that nature. eBay, gotta grab the dog. He's gonna knock over the camera. eBay handles all of that for us. Okay. When we purchase items from Walmart, you can pay with credit card or gift card. Okay. Oh, great tip from Vegan Queen. Rule of thumb, you should always notice or consider all costs prior to selling an item. Seems obvious, but many people make mistakes not paying attention to all costs. I agree. Get an Excel spreadsheet. Make sure to put in the price of the item, shipping cost, if any, sales tax, if any, and all your selling fees. So it's really clear how much profit you'll make if you list the item at a certain price. You want to know that all before you list the item. That's a really, really good tip, Vegan Queen. Every nickel and dime adds up. Don't overlook anything in your own costs. Well said. Okay, my account got an MC011 for late shipments. Too many open cases, late deliveries. Should I open a new account or try to fix the old one? So the first thing you should do is kind of evaluate why this happened or how this happened. Because even if you open a new account, it could happen again if you're not on top of things and don't really understand why it happened. These are all things you need to stay on top of. All cases, when they open, you gotta try to get them closed as quickly as possible. You need to address them. You don't want your items being ordered late because you want them to be delivered on time. You need the right handling time and shipping time. And, all this needs to be set up beforehand so that this doesn't happen again. Now, an MC011 is an account restriction. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the selling for that account. You can get an account back from an MC011. It's very, very possible. So that's the first thing that I would try. Again, if you're a member of my course, in the advanced section, I have a video lesson explaining exactly how to get your account back. We have a really high success rate with that lesson. And all those things I talked about, like setting up your right handling times, shipping times, and handling all your cases, that's all, of course, covered earlier in the course as well. Okay. Let's see. All right, let's go jump to another question from the week. Do you entertain applicants that have no experience in being a virtual assistant? I already answered that one. The answer is no. It was a long one. I think I had a buyer. I'm new at eBay. I think I had a buyer try to scam me. Someone asked me to send the item to a different address because he thought I am new at eBay. Okay. So when it comes to eBay, you always have to ship to the address on the order. Never ship it to any other address. Even if the buyer reaches out to you and says, hey, can you ship this somewhere else? Your answer is, if that's what you want, unfortunately, you have to cancel the order and then reorder it with the correct address. And explain to them, you will not, as the seller, have protection from eBay or PayPal if you ship to a different address. And that's the reason why that rule exists. So never ship to another address. Only ship to the address on the order. What is up, TJ? Thanks for coming back, man. Okay. Let's see. Someone asked about neutral feedback. Neutral feedback, you can try to get it removed, but don't sweat about it. It's not the most important thing. It doesn't actually impact your rating, so don't worry about it. Just leave it alone. It will eventually get buried in your feedback with more positive feedback. Orlando, the mouse slayer. Hey, what's up, Joel? It's my brother. Okay. Okay, let's jump to another question. How to share account information with a VA for fulfillment, says Raja. So there are multiple ways to do this, depending on what account information you want to share with them. Again, inside my virtual assistant course, I cover all the different software you might use, all the different websites you might use, and how to share that information safely with a virtual assistant. But the short of it is that a lot of the software we use, like AutoDS and Zeek Analytics, there's really no harm in you giving them access to it, especially AutoDS, where you can give them VA access. So that's what you should be doing for the accounts, the software that allows you to do that. Or it's something like Zeek Analytics, where it really doesn't matter if you give them your password. It really makes no difference. Now, for your eBay account, yeah, you got to actually give them the user login information, or you can use a password management tool or sharing tool like LastPass or Dashlane. Those aren't 100% secure, but it might make you feel a little bit better about using them. So at the end of the day, when you hire a virtual assistant and you really want them to work on your store, you will have to give them access to your eBay account. And I find that as long as you trust them, as long as they build up that trust with you, that's not an issue. Just be smart about it. Make sure they've been working with you for a little while before you actually give them full access to your eBay store. Let's see. Yes, there's a Home Depot in PR, but it doesn't actually ship out from the stores themselves. Do I reach out to buyers for feedback? I did when I first started. I don't do it anymore. We have enough feedback on all of our accounts. But when I first started an account, we do reach out for feedback. It's not honestly the most important thing, feedback, but it does make it does make a little bit of a difference. And you want as much positive feedback as opposed to negative feedback, so that makes a difference. So in the beginning, yeah, you can reach out to them, send them messages, and just say, if you're happy with your service, if you're happy with the item, I would really appreciate it if you left some feedback for us. Power Drop versus Zeek Analytics. I'm not familiar with Power Drop. What is that? Power Drop. I'm just going to Google it. Power Drop. I don't see anything. Let's see, Power Drop. Drop shipping. Oh, yeah. Huh. I'm just looking at this website. I've never actually seen this before, so yeah, mean, I'll take a look at it later. But I've never. But before this, I'd never heard of it. Okay, another question here. Okay, so Raminta, hope I'm saying your name correctly. How do I change to manage payments, or will it be done automatically? So what's going to happen is you're going to get an email from eBay letting you know that you have to switch over. You have to register for managed payments. Once you register for managed payments, and a lot of you might have gotten this email already, you just click a couple buttons, you give them some information, then you have to wait. So I did this a couple months ago, and they said you have to wait till the middle of July. Now I'm assuming what happens in the middle of July, they're going to send me an email and let me know that it's just kind of happened at that point. But yeah, there is information they need from you in order to get managed payments. This information is information like your bank account, your social security number, and this is all for anti-money laundering rules. The same way that PayPal asks you for that information, eBay needs that information as well. So they ask for that information, you got to give it to them, and then once you do, then you just have to wait for it to happen. Oh, Deborah wants to know what's the difference between just having several eBay accounts and a stealth account. So Deborah, on eBay, you're more than welcome. You're encouraged to open multiple eBay accounts. Don't do it right away. You only need one account when you start, but you can eventually open multiple eBay accounts. And when you have more than one, it's just you have more than one eBay account. You have several eBay accounts. They're not called anything special. They're just another eBay account. But a stealth account is a little bit different. A stealth account is a second eBay account, but here's the difference. When you open a second eBay account, eBay knows that you own that second account and the first account. They're able to link them together. And they're able to link them together with different information like your name, address, phone number, IP address, cookies, all these different things. Link two accounts together. A stealth account is an account that's not linked to your first one. Okay? So it has all new information, all fresh information that's never been used on another eBay account before. So that way those accounts are completely separate, and if something happens to your original set of accounts, like they all get suspended, your stealth account will be not impacted by that. Okay, let's see. All right, great, TJ. Doing $70,000 a month consistently, just me, no virtual assistant, on about 2 hours a day. Get the course, people, and get started. Yeah, I mean, I love virtual assistants, but not everyone needs them. You know, TJ here, I had the pleasure of meeting him down in Florida during a meetup I had there. And, you know, he's doing really, really well all by himself, 2 hours a day. Yeah, congrats. I mean, yeah, the course will show you the path, but, you know, you actually have to put in the work and do it yourself. And people like TJ there, like he's actually doing it. He's actually putting in the work, putting in the steps. And the two of those things combined, that's when people see success. You get that type of person like TJ is, and they're going to see success. Okay. Let's see. Will we be able to get paid through PayPal with managed payments? No. So buyers can use PayPal during checkout, but that money will not go to your PayPal account. I'm going to screenshot this because later this week I am doing a Q&A of the top managed payment questions, and this is one of the top questions I get. So buyers will be able to pay with PayPal, but that money will not go into your PayPal account. That money will be reflected in your eBay account. Okay? A little bit confusing, but think of it as buyers are paying not you through PayPal, they're paying eBay through PayPal, and then that money's funneled into your eBay account. Okay. Started with Paul. Somebody had a question how long he's been doing this. Started with Paul's course about 2 years ago. Just wanted to do by myself for now, not looking to grow further. You mentioned in one of your tax videos that since eBay is collecting sales tax, it's become much easier. I don't see how that's the case, since we still have to keep track and file 0 taxes. Well, it's going to be easier because, first of all, for a lot of those states, you don't actually have to keep your registration for them. So that's less, you don't actually have to file for those states. That's something you have to look into on a state-by-state basis. And also, you don't actually have to keep track of how much eBay is collecting. You don't have to use TaxJar for those states because you just file $0 returns for them. Okay? So if you're not collecting sales tax for any states, then you don't need TaxJar at all because eBay's taking care of it. All you have to do is for the states that you are registered for, file $0 returns. But you should also look at whether you even have to keep those registrations for those states, because for a lot of states, you don't have to keep it. You should for some states so that you can stay tax exempt, but otherwise, you don't need it. Okay, what is the biggest reason sellers get suspended on eBay? The biggest reason I see is not uploading tracking numbers. That will get you suspended very quickly. Other things are not shipping your items out on time, not responding to messages, cases, or not responding to returns. All these things matter to eBay and are things that can get your account suspended or restricted. Most likely restricted, which is something. The difference between suspension and restricted is that a restriction, you can get your account back with an appeal. Suspension is usually permanent and is rare, therefore. Okay, check out some of these other questions. Got that one. I'm listing an item on eBay and customer contact me personally. He wants delivery by FedEx, but I'm ordering from Best Buy and they don't do that. Yeah, so go into your shipping settings and you want to make sure that your policy doesn't state a specific supplier. So in there you can choose FedEx, UPS, or you can just choose ground delivery. Just choose ground delivery. Don't choose a specific carrier. And then if someone asks you that question, you just kind of tell them, I'm sorry, but we ship out of different warehouses based on how close the item is to you, and some of those warehouses are not equipped with FedEx. So we can't ship this item through FedEx. There's no guarantee. Some buyers are a huge pain in the you-know-what about this. And it's because they live in perhaps more rural areas where UPS might not deliver and only FedEx does, believe it or not. I've seen that before, and I just kind of tell them, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. We don't state in our listing that we ship through FedEx. We ship through whatever's available at the cheapest rate, and we can't use FedEx for this. And if the item's not delivered, you can cancel it, but there's nothing else we can do. Top 3 suppliers I use for dropshipping, Walmart and Home Depot are the top 2 that I use, but there are so many others that I've tried and liked. I've done Amazon in the past, don't really recommend it too much anymore. We've had luck with Banggood, AliExpress. There's just so many. Those are obviously Chinese ones, US for United States. But those are my top 2. I have 4 usernames and currently use PayPal to ship as buyers pay me. Oh, okay, this is a question about managed payments. Under managed payments, will there be a way to manage 4 eBay accounts in one place? As far as I know, no, there will not be. So as far as I understand it, you will have to log out of one eBay account and into another one. You're not going to be able to see all 4 accounts in one place. But that's a question that I'm going to save for the Q&A about managed payments, and I'm actually going to call up eBay to verify all those answers. So I'll verify that answer. Jason, where'd you hear this? because I've been doing this for a while now, since eBay started collecting. I think the states know that that there are these new marketplace facilitator laws, and that because of that, eBay and Amazon are collecting for us, and because of that, a lot of people are going to be filing $0 returns. So I don't think you're going to get an audit in most cases. I don't think that's going to happen. From what I understand, states rarely audit for sales tax. It doesn't mean that you should test that, but I haven't heard of this. But maybe if you have a source that states otherwise, please share it, because I would love to see that. Let's see. Yes, for many of the states you have to do that, but not for all of them. Oh, I see your point. Yeah, so that's a fair point. For those states, yeah, you do have to enter in the amount and then enter it as an exemption for a marketplace facilitator. For some states, though, that you can just enter a zero return. That's a good point. So yeah, you still have to do some work, but it is a little bit easier. I mean, you don't actually have to pay it yourself and worry about overcharges or over collecting or under collecting. I still think it's easier, but you make a really fair point. I get what you're saying. TJ, people want to know what he uses for a supplier. Almost all Walmart, a few Amazon, a few Home Depot. Can you start eBay dropshipping without a credit card bank account? No. I don't know a way to do that. My understanding is that most of the fees are going to be taken out right away, like their final. Well, okay, I got to verify this because they recently changed their fee structure, and I don't know if that changes the way the money's going to be taken out. So I will save that for when I call eBay and ask them. Do I use a VPN to protect your info or other APPS? I'm familiar with VPN. I'm not familiar with APPS. I don't know what that is. Or other apps. Maybe that's just apps in all capital. Yeah, so in general, I don't use a VPN unless I'm on a public Wi-Fi. And I try not to use it. Like I said before, or maybe I didn't say this in this video, I live full-time in a camper van, so it's an RV. We travel around the country full-time. So we have Wi-Fi in here. We have a couple of Wi-Fi systems, Verizon, AT&T. So we have hotspots in here. So even if I go to like a coffee shop, I usually bring one of those hotspots with me, so I don't have to worry about using public Wi-Fi. But if I am on public Wi-Fi, I do try to use a VPN for that reason. Yeah. Nice to see another vegan queen out here. Yeah, so Vegan Queen says, I recently spoke to the Florida Department of Revenue. They are aware of the reasons behind $0 tax filings. They even added it to their tax filing instructions in FAQ recently. Yeah. Yeah, so this is something that's definitely going to be addressed when we find out more information. That's something that we're not really going to know how to deal with until late this summer, once the managed payments rolls out and we have time to really play with it. What type of van do we have? It's on a Ram ProMaster chassis, but it's built out by Winnebago. It's called a Winnebago Travato. Great question. Yeah, that's true. But but it's still a $0 return. You still have to file it, but you just file it and let them know that eBay or Amazon collected for you. Was your van ordered from Walmart? No, it wasn't. All right, guys. We have little Orlando here, and he's a little bit sad because we only have 59 thumbs ups on this video, and there are 170 of you watching right now. So he would appreciate it, right? If we get a few more likes on this video, and maybe he'll, if this video gets to, let's say 80 likes, so 20 more, Orlando here will get a treat. He really wants a treat. And I was trying to get away with me because I said that word. He gets excited when he hears that word. Let's see. Do I still use AutoDS for eBay? Yeah. That's the one that I use to list items and also to reprice them. Yeah. Is there any service like SKU Chrome Remote? The one attached to SKU is not working properly. SKU has so many different little services that I don't quite know which one that is anymore. Maybe you can explain what it is, and I can kind of explain if there's an alternative to it. Because I can't remember which one that is. They have so many different ways that you can go about using SKU to reprice your items that kind of can be confusing to keep track of all of them. The SKU Chrome Remote, I just can't remember what it means. Oh, and if we get to 100 likes, he'll get 2 cookies, just so you guys know. Smash that like button, feed the dog, let's go. Wow. I'm going to take you up on that offer, Tommy. Maybe in the fall. Why does eBay still charge me fees on canceled items? You should get your final value fee back for those. So you should call eBay and figure that out. All right. Somebody won a cookie. All right. Let me grab his treat. Oh, he's super excited. Stay there. All right. Come back up. Come here. All right. This one, Orlando, is from all the viewers at home who wanted to make sure that you got, looks a little gingerbread man. Ready? Good boy. There he goes. All right. If we get to 100 likes, he'll do a trick for you guys. How about that? Let's see. Do you recommend selling through an eBay store, or can I just sell through my normal account that I use to sell things from my home? I always recommend setting up an eBay or subscribing to an eBay store. You get a lot of benefits if you do a store subscription, one of which being lower fees at a certain point, and more free insertion. So it's always a better idea to get one of those store subscriptions. Great explanation from Vegan Queen. The policies you refer to are if you neglected to file your sales tax return at all. You are still required to file quarterly, but the amounts would be $0. Hope that makes sense. I couldn't have explained it better myself, so thank you. Okay. Iron Ryan, congrats, man, says, I just did over $8,000 last month and over $12,000 in the past 90 days, so congrats, Iron Ryan. Quick question. I'm having trouble with AutoDS. It's not uploading my new listings at the same my partner is. I'm not sure what the last part means, but it sounds to me like your listings aren't being uploaded. New listings. He really wants another treat. He really wants another treat, guys. He's going crazy. Look at him. What's wrong? Another one? We still got nine likes to go. Okay. I know, you got to ask them for 9 more likes, 9 more thumbs up. Okay. Okay, he's going nuts. Come here. If you're having trouble with that, that's something you should definitely reach out to AutoDS for their support with. Now, there is a way that you can download all your pending uploads from AutoDS. You'll download into a CSV file, and then you can upload that CSV file directly into the file exchange. And that way you can make sure that it's actually being done right. That I would try that at first, because if that's not working, then you know it's not then you know it's not an issue with AutoDS, it's some issue with your file exchange. If it does work, then you know it's an issue with the Chrome extension itself. Then you know that the Chrome extension isn't sending the new items from eBay, from AutoDS to the file exchange on eBay. So that's one way to kind of isolate that issue. So basically, Lucky Skills says, do I need dropshipping experience before I take your course? No, you don't. A lot of people come in, I'm pretty sure TJ came in with no dropshipping experience. You might have had eBay experience before that, but no dropshipping experience. And it's really designed for beginners. It's kind of a step-by-step system. So even if you're advanced, you can kind of hop in where you are in the process and kind of go from there. But for most people, they're going to start out as beginners, hop in, and just follow it step by step through the system to get from knowing nothing to knowing everything you need for eBay dropshipping. Okay, calm down. I have an old eBay account with a long history of sales, and I'll use it for a new eBay account. Will I get limited? Probably not. I've seen a lot of people do this and their accounts don't get limited. No guarantee, but probably not. Keep in mind, eBay is getting rid of PayPal in the next month, so or so by the end of the year for all people. So you might not be using PayPal soon anyway. I'm creating a Python script that scans the stream and automatically redeems the cookies. No, then Orlando won't get any cookies. Stick around, Pooch. You're getting 2 cookies and 14 more likes. We're 4 likes away from him doing a trick and getting another cookie. Okay. So SKUGrid Remote Chrome enables non-API without having your browser on. Okay. Yeah, so there are other ways. So if you're using SKUGrid specifically, there are other ways SKUGrid can do it. You can set up like a WooCommerce site that's supposed to work, and you can also just create they have an option so that, I mean, maybe this is the same option, maybe I just didn't know the name of it, where it actually sets up a remote login using IP Burger Fresh IP address. And it's kind of like a remote login for a computer. And when you use that, then it kind of runs on that computer, which is like a different server. Now, if you're not using SKUGrid, AutoDS, you can do the same thing, where you basically set up a remote login, a remote computer, have a Chrome on that computer, and have it running 24/7, which is a really good option for people using AutoDS. All right, we got to 100 likes, so he gets his cookie, and he'll do a trick for you guys. He's very excited, as you see. All right, Orlando, ready for your big moment? Okay, ready? Sit. Spin. Good boy. Sit. Spin. Good boy. I'll do another one. Let's do it again. Sit. Spin. Good boy. Sit. Spin. He only knows how to spin one way. Good boy. All right. So that's it for this week, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more content like this, then make sure to subscribe to the channel, and also leave a comment down below if you have any questions about eBay dropshipping. I'll answer it probably right away with a quick message, and also save it for my next live Q&A for you guys. Thanks so much. Orlando says thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.